Hey, you're listening to and watching the Drew and Mia podcast show. I'm Drew.
And I'm Mia.
We are back. This is our deluxe edition. We noticed that some of you guys come on more for the 7 o'clock. We may need to come on at 7 instead of 6 Central. Seems I guess everybody's home from work or whatever. They're free at 7. 6 o'clock might be a struggle. So we're going to have to look into that. But good evening to everybody. Thank you for joining us on social media. Hello. Waving back to everybody. We have a lot to get into today, y'all. We had a great first hour with our special guest, Mr. Jeffrey LaValle. We call him Onk, a living legend in gospel music and music in general. So we definitely enjoyed that. But this is going to be really where we're going to talk about the whole Texas situation,
fiasco,
everything. Like, I am embarrassed to be a Texan at this point in time because they embarrassed the hell out of me. But we're going to talk about all of that. So we're going to get started with our show, guys. Hello, everybody. Hello. So our hometown hero spotlight. We know people love learning about the people that we feature. I enjoy doing it, actually. And it's only befitting that we do this for a person that I just love, I respect. I don't know if you watch PBS, co-host, but he has multiple programs on PBS. And I'm talking about none other than Henry Louis Gates. Yeah. Co-host has no idea who that is. That's why it's important to educate your kids and expose them to the greatest things in life, including PBS. She got cable, so they probably don't watch PBS because they got cable and all that fancy stuff. But I have regular TV, so PBS is on all the time. So anywho, Henry Louis Gates is one of the most profound. He has so many titles. He hosts a show called Finding Your Roots, where he connects celebrities, regular people, to their heritage, their ancestry. He's done it for many celebrities, like what's the guys from CNN, Anderson Cooper. He's done it for Pharrell Williams. He's done it for so many famous people.
I would watch that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so good. Co-host is so good. I'm definitely encouraging you to watch it on PBS. You have to check the times because it comes on at different times. But it's on there. And then his latest project is called The Black Church. Have you read about that? Well, that's what's in the news lately. Everyone has been watching the Black Church. No, Black Church is on PBS.
Oh, okay.
But they're airing it on some of the other streaming platforms as well. Okay. But he is the executive producer and the creator of the Black Church documentary that's airing. It's 2 episodes that has aired already. But when I tell you, it is profound and just so prolific. You're learning everything about the institution of the Black Church, the power of the Black Church, where we are as today with the Black Church. Like, it is so good. So you definitely have to watch both episodes so you can kind of understand what everything is all about. But we're honoring Henry Louis Gates because he is definitely a hometown hero. He has done a lot for many people. The Finding Your Roots is just one of those shows where you're glued to the TV because they're pulling stuff all the way back from when it was first documented, 1600, 1700. He's connecting people to their 5-time great-grandfather, great-grandmother on both sides of the family. He's telling Anderson Cooper that his family were slave owners, and Anderson Cooper's breaking down in tears because he can't believe he comes from a family that owned slaves. Like, it's just so good. It's so good.
I'm gonna watch that.
So make sure you guys go and check it out on PBS. It's called Finding Your Roots. And also check out the Black Church documentary hosted by Henry Louis Gates. It's just so profound. It's so profound. So that's that on that. We'll have more about Henry Louis Gates on our social media and website. Go to DreuxandMiaPodcastShow.com or at DreuxandMiaPodcastShow on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And we'll let you guys know who he is, what he's been doing, and how you can connect with him, because he's one of those people where you have to really show him, love and respect while he's here, because I think he's like 73, 74.
Oh my God.
So he's getting up there. And he's also handicapped as well. So it's we want to make sure we give him his flowers while he's here. But he's still walking, still moving, still working, and he's doing the best he can do with helping Black people learn their identity and also just teaching us. He's one of the
Yeah.
greatest teachers that I've ever seen, ever known. So make sure you guys go and check that out. So what we have going on in Tea Time? Well, let me make sure that I make sure we highlight our sponsor. Hometown Hero Spotlight is sponsored by Sutter Home Wines. You guys know how much I enjoy liquor and wine. Sutter Home has the best Moscato. Oh my God. Go and check it out. For more information, go to SutterHomeWines.com. Again, that's Sutter, Sutter, homewines.com. What we got going on in Tea Time, man?
Listen, we got a lot going on in Tea Time. Before I do that, I do want you to know that Tea Time is sponsored by our friends at Houston Cafe. For the best in full service catering and meal prep, contact our friends at Houston Cafe Catering, www.houstoncafeonline.com, or call 281-616-6806. Again, 281-616-6806. Honey, this tea is hot. It's piping it's sweet. Honey, none other than the Real Housewives of Atlanta. My favorite show that we have on Tea Time. So my co-host doesn't watch it, so I have to put him in. So you do know who Kenya Moore is, correct?
Of course.
You know who Cynthia Bailey is.
I do.
You know Candy Bird.
I do.
And you know Portia. You know Portia is Miss Black Lives Matter, honey.
I do. I've seen her at the Breonna Taylor.
Yes, she is
rally.
all for it. Actually, on Real Housewives episode 2 episodes ago, they showed where the police officer was only charged with, I think, endangerment. And not murder. And so you see Portia crying. But here lately on the last episode, so Cynthia Bailey is getting married to sports correspondent Mike Hill. Okay, so Kenya, which is her bestie on the show, throws her a bachelorette party. Okay, so they have a bachelorette party that starts like at 7 o'clock at night. So, you know, Candy did the whole dungeon thing. And you remember what she did went on tour? Well, she did a dungeon for the bachelorette party. So
I'm not tired of these dungeons.
They ain't tired of them, honey, because Candy had all of them to dress in sexy lingerie.
Was it at Candy's dungeon?
No, it was not at Candy's dungeon. So they rented a big house in, I really want to go there too. It's called South Palm Isles in South Carolina. The resort. So, and they rented a huge mansion, and they went out there, and they actually had the stripper named Bolo to come out there, and he stripped for Cynthia. Well, this is the tea. So as things were winding down, Marlo, you know Marlo Hampton. Shout out to Marlo. That's my boo. Shout out to Marlo, who is the fashion guru. I love Marlo. So Marlo went to bed early. Candy went to bed early, and Cynthia went to bed early. But guess
when you say they went to bed early, you mean they went home?
No. So they were in the house.
Oh, they all slept at the house.
They all slept at the house. So Bolo was there stripping, and so he didn't know that they were still filming.
Wow.
And but he still had his mic on. They so dumb. Like, why don't they realize if the mic pack is still on you, they don't have to see you, but they can hear your voice.
They can hear you.
So anyway, they were down there twerking. Portia was twerking. You have a new girl on there named Dreux. I don't think you know her.
Dreux.
Yeah, shout out to Dreux. I like her though. I'm gonna actually make you know who she is once we're done. But she was down there. Portia was down there, and they also have another girl. So Kenya said that she was going to bed because she brought her baby on the trip. She's so wacky.
She brought her baby to a bachelorette party?
She brought her baby on the trip and brought the nanny.
Oh, wow.
But when she wanted to get out of hanging with them, she'd be like, I gotta go get my baby and whatever. So anyway, she used the excuse every other night. So this night she was like, well, I'm going upstairs. So she says the next day after it's over, so on the show you can see Bolo leaving at 7 a.m. in the morning. Now the bachelorette party was from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning. So she comes downstairs talking about who was moaning and groaning with Bolo. Now you know Portia on again, off again boyfriend is Dennis.
Yeah.
But Dennis still want to be with Portia. Kenya with her messy self. I say Kenya, snitches get stitches. She down there trying to say Portia and Dreux and the other girl was down there and had a threesome with Bolo. So that's the gag that's gonna be on the show.
So all of this was on camera? They filmed it?
See, that's what they didn't realize. So the cameramen were outside. You can see them filming through the blind.
Okay.
And so they are pointing out, like, as somebody walk through, they'll like with a Sharpie on the thing say, okay, there's Portia right there, or there's Bolo right there. But they were up very, very late. So they trying to say they did the nasty fellatio and everything. And Dreux is married.
Oh, wow.
And another one of the girls is married. So Kenya is stirring up stuff, which is the reason why my point is I do not like Kenya. I want her to get off the show. They need to put Nene back on the show. I love Nene. Shout out to Nene Leakes, who is my boo, who is actually, she's about to sue Bravo because she's saying that she experienced racism on the show.
Well, she's too late for that.
Yeah, she's not going to get it. I really want to talk to Nene and be like, Nene, it's a wrap. And, you know, she even has a new show out. And it's just,
oh, really?
It's low budget co-host. I was so surprised.
On what network?
It's no network. It's a YouTube.
It's YouTube.
It's a YouTube channel. Wish she get a lot of views. Yeah. Nene could get a show like this. And
you know, she was shunned. She was blacklisted. From,
I don't think so.
I mean, I saw that in the news that she was blacklisted.
From where?
From all of the networks. When she got released from the show and Bravo and her and Andy and all that got into it and all of that, they, you know, released a statement saying that she was blacklisted from having other opportunities. And that's one of the reasons why she was upset, because they felt like they portrayed her to be, you know, of course, this angry black woman. So she wasn't offered the opportunities that she thought she deserved.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I saw that, but I mean, we seen Nene's personality. So,
but I don't think you don't get her.
No, but I did like her in what's the show she was? Glee. I did like her little appearances in Glee. She was funny in that.
She was on Glee a while.
Yeah, she was on Glee a while. She was funny in that.
But she's a nice person. The reading, people don't understand. And that's the same thing about me. When you have to do stuff like this, a podcast show or a Facebook show on reality TV, that's a different persona. Don't take away that she's a good person. She's a giving person. She gives to a lot of charities. Sometimes you have to read a girl every now and then, honey.
I think the problem is she just goes overboard.
Sometimes you got to go overboard with them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, she just goes
and just don't stop.
But she, back to what your point was earlier, she's one of those people where she will assassinate your character and talk about you and make us lie.
Will do that.
Yeah, so how would you want to be friends with that?
But I don't think that. Okay, so let me not agree to assassinate. If you come at her, Nene will come back at you. I've never seen her just make up lies on people just for the hell of it. I think those girls were jealous of her, and they need to give her props. She started Real Housewives of Atlanta. She was one of the original cast members who started calling other girls like, "Do you want an opportunity to be on the show?" And then they outcast her. Like, Kenya wouldn't have a job.
So she never got executive producer privileges?
No.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nuh-uh.
Someone like her, I would imagine she would.
But she was making, I think, $1.2 million a show.
The highest paid.
She was the highest paid at one point, and then, but that last season, the season before she was let go, it was Candy, and that's what really boiled her blood, because Candy was now the highest paid Real Housewife, and so she was very upset, and she was just like, I need to be the highest paid. And when they wouldn't get up off that,
I wonder how they get that information.
Oh, it's online.
No, but like who's leaking that? Like, who's leaking their payment? How much they get paid? Like, who does that?
There is no leak. It's a website you can go to. It's no leak. They put it on there.
The network does?
I don't know if it's a network, but it's a website you can go to, and it'll tell you.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I know you can go online and look it up and see, but I'm just saying, like, who's putting out that this one makes this much, this one makes that much for them to battle?
They would have to get it from the network, because online you can see what any housewife from Orange County to Miami to New Jersey, you just put in what does each housewife make, and it'll give you a list per episode.
It would probably be hard to kind of pinpoint like who's leaking that, because I'm sure it goes through different levels.
Maybe through different channels.
Yeah, different departments or whatnot within the network. So it could be anybody, really.
Right.
It could be anybody. Wow. Interesting. Well, that's that on that. Yeah, I don't really do the whole reality thing because it's just so fake. I think it should be called fakeality TV.
Oh my God.
And then when it's fakeality TV, then, you know, okay, you can expect it to be fake.
Only Drew.
Yeah, I'm just saying what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
He gonna continue to watch his PBS.
I'm gonna watch PBS because I love finding your roots. I love the Black Church. You got another show too, I can't remember, but yeah, I can't do that whole reality thing. But of course, I know who they are because I see them on social media, I see them in the news. So that's unfortunate. So I hope nobody's marriage was messed up. I hope they ain't catch nothing.
It's gonna be next week.
I hope they didn't catch nothing. I hope Bolo ain't got nothing going on.
Well, he said he was tested before he came. They made sure to air that.
He was tested for what? COVID or STD?
Not STD, COVID.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I hope you don't keep. There's more than just COVID now.
Now that's the truth.
That did they?
But we'll find out in 9 months. And
I would just imagine
months.
they will make him wear protection.
I'm sure.
But I mean, if they're in the moment.
But you know what? They probably never thought about having sex. I think they was in a moment because Kenya said that she heard like groaning and she heard like sloppy noises and stuff. She think that they did regular sex and oral sex. And
all three of them?
Yeah, she said she heard and she saw 3 different people like moving around, and she heard 3 different voices that she knows distinctly was Portia, and she know it was distinctly Bolo. She said she doesn't know the third person, so that's what the catcher is. That's why people want to watch next week, because they want to know. And Portia was so mad because she was like, so is she trying to insinuate that I was having a threesome? Even if so, if we had a bachelorette party,
be a foursome if it's 3 plus 1. Right?
No, a threesome, 2 girls and a guy.
Oh, I thought it was 3 girls and
no.
stripper.
It was 2 girls and a stripper that she said she saw. But before she saw him, she said it was more than that, just down in the living room. But she said when she heard them, they were in a room with the door closed.
Wow.
So yeah, that's just the thing. It's just girl code. Even if they did, I would not be airing out the next day. I think I saw Portia. I just wouldn't do that to my she's just not a girl's girl.
That's a lot.
She irks my nerves.
We're talking about the drama on Real Housewives of Atlanta. That's not my thing. That's my co-host thing.
Doggone right.
Do you guys watch Real Housewives of Atlanta? What do you feel about what happened on the last episode and spilling the tea and all of that stuff? I don't know. That's that on there. So what's the question of the week, co-host? What's going on this week?
Listen, so the question of the week, I want to know. And I want to know this from you too, but I want to know from parents. Do you feel that overfeeding your child is a form of child abuse?
Yes.
Because a lot of people in the Black church,
Black church?
Yeah, the Black church. And I'm going to talk about it because in the Black church or the Black family, you know what? Let's just take church out of it. In the Black family, we eat for everything. We eat for a promotion, a graduation, congratulations. We eat when somebody's getting married. Then when somebody dies, we having a party and we eating. And I know as a child, my parents did not monitor what I ate. And I was very obese as a child.
Monitor? No. Probably not going to monitor.
No, they're not. But when you overfeed and you don't really... this is how I feel. When you don't really monitor what your child is eating and you're not cognizant of what you're putting in your child's body, I do think that that's a form of abuse. Not that you're knowingly, because I feel like I don't think that if my parents would have knowingly known what they know now, back then, they would have. But my mama at 5 years old, if I start crying, she would go to churches and give me like a 3-piece drumstick. At 5, at 5, I would eat like 3 drumsticks by myself and would start hollering and falling out in the floor if somebody took one.
Wow.
So, we have to, I wanted to talk about that because I think it's very controversial. Some people are going to be like, ouch. But listen, if it hits you, just say ouch and Lord help me, because.
So the question again is.
Do you feel like not monitoring and overfeeding your child is a form of abuse?
Do you feel like overfeeding or not monitoring your children is a form of abuse? Let me rephrase it. Do you feel like not monitoring and overfeeding your kids can be a form of abuse? That is the question of the week, and we want to hear from you. What do you think? I think that you should definitely be paying attention to what they're eating, especially if they're young, to make sure not just, let's put nutrition aside. Let's just make sure that it's something that they should be consuming.
Absolutely.
And it's not going to get them sick, and they're not going to have to go to the ER, because then that's a whole new set of things going on there. But I definitely think it is borderline abuse, because you're being neglectful in what you're allowing them to eat. You're taking away from their growth, their nutrition. You may be causing them to, head towards diabetes or pre-diabetic or obesity. So I think that is important, that we should definitely monitor it. And then, of course, it does kind of fall on that abuse borderline, if you will. I know when you say abuse, you're thinking that it's intentional.
Yeah, because people get antsy around it. They don't like it. They get offensive. They walk in the spirit of offense. However, if like I said, if the shoe fit, you just gotta put it on and be like, oh my God, it is a form of abuse. And I'm not saying are you intentionally trying to
Right. I
abuse
think
your
that's
child.
what the
That's not what I'm saying.
misconception would be. Like, is it intentional? Whether it's intentional or not, it's wrong. And we definitely want all of our parents, guardians, whoever, if you're taking care of kids, make sure that you're giving them nutritional things so that they can grow, have a healthy life, a full life, and monitor what they're eating and drinking, because it's a lot of stuff out there now, especially like the high fructose corn syrup. That stuff causes cancer. Yeah. So you have to learn, some of the ingredients and things so that you can make sure that you're not helping them to die earlier, to die younger, to die faster. So yeah, I mean, that's
so many young kids that are pre-diabetic. My nephew,
I just found out I was pre-diabetic.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I was hurt. Wow. I was hurt. I said, "Are you sure?" She said, "Yeah." She says, "I mean, there's nothing to be concerned about, but you're definitely hit." I said, "You know what? I think it's Starbucks." Because I have Starbucks in the morning.
Really?
And I get 10 pumps of vanilla for my latte. So I said, all right, let me come down on the pumps. I'm going to go down to like 4 or 5. And we'll see if that makes a difference. And I'm like, I work out every 4 days a week. I work out. I'm running in the park. Of course, I'm out with Avril. We're out at the dog park running and all of that. So I'm active. How in the world could I be pre-diabetic?
That's crazy.
So, I mean, I literally had to just like, stop everything. So I cut back on the Starbucks. I didn't really have no sweets in the house because I don't eat candy. Mm-hmm. I'm doing baked chips, kettle cooked chips, salads, like healthy stuff. So I'm trying to figure out like how in the world could I be pre-diabetic? So that just goes to show you, even if you do, you still have to be mindful in watching everything, because it can slip up, it can catch you off guard, and you can be like me, you thinking that you're doing everything right, and then they tell you that, oh, well, you're heading towards pre-diabetic stage. Like, huh? Are you sure?
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's better to make sure you're paying attention and watching it and looking at the ingredients. If you ever watch me at the grocery store, I am the one that's holding the box up, looking at the ingredients, and it's so small. You have to. What does that say?
That's him, y'all. Believe it.
What that say?
Like an old man.
And then I pull out the phone, I Google it to see what that means, because I have no idea what that means. And then see what it says. Say, oh no, I'm gonna pass on that. I mean, that's what you have to do. And thankful HEB, they have on their app, they have like all of the stuff on.
That's good.
The calories, yeah, I do too. The calories, the ingredients, to let you know the nutritional benefits, and then the not so good stuff. Like they tell you everything on that app for that product. Yeah. And I just thought that was like, yeah, that's it. That's what grocery stores, even restaurants. That's what they should be doing. So the consumer knows you're educating the consumer instead of them just eating, getting cancer, and dying. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
I'm with it.
That's a good question. That's a very good question. We want to hear from you guys. Do you think that it is a form of abuse if you're not monitoring, and if you're overfeeding your kids or even your pets? Because I've seen some fat dogs. And I'm like, first of all, they already have a short lifespan. Like,
absolutely.
Why are you shortening lifespan? So kids, children, all of that. Do you think it is a form of abuse? I say yes. Co-host say yes. We want to hear from you. Go to DreuxandMiaPodcastShow.com or reach out to us on social media at DreuxandMiaPodcastShow. That's a very good question, co-host. And we do like to mention, health things, nutritional things on the show, because we care about you guys. We want you guys eating healthy, taking care of yourselves, and living a long life, even if, you're not really, what's the word I want to use? I don't want to upset anybody. Even if you don't really care, let's just put it like that. Right. Even if you don't really care about what you're eating. The babies. Yeah. Care about your legacy, your kids and your spouse or whatever, your boo, whatever. Care about them.
Yeah.
Because they need you around. Whether they admit to it or not, they need you around. So
absolutely.
Make sure you guys, kind of check into that. Make sure you're eating great things, healthy things, so that we can live as long as we're supposed to be here. So thank you for that question, co-host. Make sure you guys reach out to us. Good evening. Hey. So what you're watching? I have a lot of stuff I've been watching lately, co-host.
We know.
Oh, I was so mad when my power was off. I couldn't watch my shows. I was trying to watch it on the phone, and then T-Mobile went haywire. I couldn't watch it on the phone. The network was down. I was mad as heck. But what you watching? So there's this show that I found on Prime. So I just found out I have Prime, right? I was like, wait, what is this charge on my credit card for Prime?
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
so
you
I'm
can
like,
watch
wow.
movies on Prime.
So I'm like, okay, so turn the TV on, got Prime. I'm like, okay, let me see. Wow. I've been missing out this whole time. I hit the jackpot. Y'all don't ever have to worry about seeing me out in the street because I'm home watching Prime. And Tubi, too. Shout out to Tubi. But there's this show I found called Crown Heights. Have you ever heard of it on Prime?
Crown Heights?
Crown Heights. Oh, man, it is so good. I want you guys to go and check out Crown Heights on Prime Video. It is a great show. I want you guys to go check it out. Of course, for all of our Grey's Anatomy fans, Grey's Anatomy returns on March 11th
on
ABC. Happy. Yeah, I watched it in the beginning, but I kind of fell off because it was just so much going on. But I mean, I think it's a great show. I think it has great writers. Yeah, I think it has great writers. So I'm a big fan of it. Well, I guess I'll be a big fan of it when I start watching it again. But there's also Lucille's Story on Prime. It's a great story, love story about a black couple from New York that moved to Detroit. Like it was so good. There's also series called Homecoming with Janelle Monáe. Have you seen that?
No, that's on Prime too.
That's on Prime too. It's called Homecoming. It's a series, so you got to watch it from the very beginning, so that you can know what's going on. But it was just so much, and then of course there's Genius, Aretha Franklin, which premieres. Get this premieres on the National Geographic Channel. What? I don't know how that happened. I don't know who did what, who paid who. But the Aretha documentary, and this is not the one with Jennifer Hudson. This is a different one. This is a different one. Let me make sure I put that out. This one is called Genius. It's a different set of producers and directors, but it is the story of Aretha Franklin. It's a mini series. It's not just a one hitter. It's not just a little show. It is a mini series. It comes out on March 21st on National Geographic, and then it'll be available on Hulu as well. I'm really glad that Keeping Up with the Kardashians is finally over after 19 seasons.
They get on my nerves.
I never watched it, but just to know that they had that show and it's made so much money, it just saddens me because I'm like, this is where we are in the world today. Like, people really love Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It's not much to keep up with. I'm just confused.
Lord, he just shaded the people.
I'm just saying, like, what are we keeping up with exactly? I'm confused.
Nothing.
Right.
All they black husbands.
Oh wow. That's interesting.
That's
Y'all
what we
got
keep
black
it
husbands.
Yeah.
No, I'm good on that. Thanks. So that's it in what you're watching. Go to our website, DreuxandMiaPodcastShow, so you can see the list of what's coming out. The spring lineup is going to be lit, y'all. I want you guys to, you know what I'm going to start doing? I'm going to start going live when I watch my shows.
Oh, my God.
So we can watch it together. We're going to be talking about people on our live. We're going to have a good time.
Talk about it then, co-host.
She can call, y'all can go to her on Real Housewives of Atlanta days, and then y'all can come to me on the other days so we can watch some real TV, some real shows that have substance and power, because that other stuff is just stupid. So that's that on that. What you're watching, all of the good shows. And of course, we shout out the Black Church documentary by Henry Louis Gates.
Yes.
PBS. Make sure you guys go and check that out as well. I'm telling you, it's going to be so life-changing. It's 2 episodes already that's been released. So make sure you guys go and check that out. Oh, man. So what we got in the news?
Oh, my God. You go ahead and talk about it.
I'm just trying to... I'm trying to calm down because we want to spend where do you start? We want to talk about the tragic events that happened in Texas last week. I really don't understand what happened. I'm still trying to grasp what happened here in Texas. So, co-host, we're the largest state in the union.
Mm-hmm.
Statistically, we're the richest state in the union. There's more millionaires and billionaires here in Texas, of course, because of the oil and energy, all of that. They're here. Right. I mean, the Walton family are in Dallas, Fort Worth area. Like, we have the money here. Mm-hmm. How is it? I need somebody to help me understand. How is it that the richest state, quote unquote, in the union can lose power that incapacitates the entire state? You're talking about 27, 28 million people. How is it? Did we not pay our light bill? Did we not pay ERCOT? Or what happened for us to be able to lose power, for our water supply to look like we're a third world child? Yep. I don't understand. So we want to talk about that for a little while today. We want answers. The people of Texas want answers. The people who are still waiting on power and clean water, they want answers as well.
Absolutely, because it's people still that don't have water.
There are people who
And
still
lights.
do not have water, light, power, anything.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have gas. The gas stations in their area can't give them gas because there's no power. So they don't have the gas to drive to a known city so that they can get the assistance that they need. And then there isn't no one that I know of have seen that are traveling to people. Like going to the rural areas. You know, I've traveled all over Texas, and I'm not bragging or anything, but just in, you know, what I do, I've been able to see a lot of Texas. There are a lot of rural areas in the state.
A lot of them.
I just don't understand how this even happened. But sadly, there's reported 300 plus hospitalizations from people either being admitted with carbon monoxide or hypothermia.
Yeah.
There are about 30 people who have died as a result of the winter storm here in Texas. And I mean, I've really had a hard time understanding how I didn't get it. I'm like, are we in Texas or what? Because to see people, for me, in my building, my apartment complex, Mia, they had to use the pool water to put in the toilet to flush it.
No.
I mean, it looked like we were like really a poor nation, a poor city. People was use the pool was empty.
Low?
The pool was empty. I mean, you're talking about 500-600 residents at one time trying to flush their toilet. People had to use the pool water, co-host, to put water in their tank to flush the toilet because, of course, you can't have all of that backed up for a week. Yep. People gonna get sick. It's gonna start stinking. I mean, it was just a disaster. I mean, thankfully, some of the grocery stores were open where you can get the water filled, buy the bottles, whatever. So you had some assistance, but it wasn't enough because you're talking about a city with 6-7 million people.
It was horrible.
It was horrible. So we have questions. We have a lot of questions. Governor Greg Abbott, ERCOT. We have a lot of questions. So in the news today, 5 executives with ERCOT resigned. They resigned.
Wow.
They felt the pressure. They knew that we were coming for their asses.
Yep.
They said, let me get out of here.
Lawsuit time.
But here's the thing. ERCOT is under immunity. Law passed, not a law, but there was a situation many years ago where ERCOT was sued for pretty much the same thing. But a judge ruled that ERCOT is essential. So if by suing ERCOT, you're taking money away from an essential entity. Even though they're privately ran and it's not directly a state agency, because they are an essential agency, they are considered under immunity. Nobody can sue them because that's taking money away from them being able to operate. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but I know this company that had it in the news that they were suing them. So I don't know how they got lawyers.
So they have multiple, So the family of the 11-year-old boy who was killed because of hypothermia, they're suing ERCOT for $100 million. There's multiple lawsuits that's going to take place. We know that.
Win.
You may not win. You may not win. You may get something from the state, but probably not going to get nothing.
Especially these children.
The children that died.
It was horrible. It was so sad.
I mean, you're talking about homes that caught fire because people were so desperate to try to stay warm. They were trying to heat up whatever they could.
Yep.
And I mean, some of these homes were outdated. The wiring was outdated.
Yep.
Homes caught fire. Animals died. Families died. Like, it was just so much. And I couldn't understand. We are the largest state in the union, supposed to be the richest. How is it that our energy, our power, our water supply is non-existent? People are struggling, standing in line at the grocery store, standing in line at water fountains and the public park to try to get water. Like, is this Texas or what?
Or Iran or
somewhere.
Like, it was just crazy. Stood in line for hours. My husband stood in line for 4 hours to get water for us.
Wow.
And then he would go to different places because they were only given, a limit so that everybody can get some. So he would make his rounds and go. And it was very traumatic.
I mean, it's heartbreaking because, we're blessed in that respect. We have cars. Yep. We have money to go to the store to get the water. But for the people who are still struggling from COVID, who haven't been able to bounce back and get back on track, imagine the toll that this took on them when they already didn't have anything.
And not only that, I'm finding out some of my Asian friends, the insurance companies are really getting hit because of, pipes busting,
Yeah.
people homes are messed up, and the insurance companies, if they're essentially not getting the adjusters out on time, some of these people are having to live like this.
Yeah.
And one of my friends, she's one of my Asian friends, her accent is very thick.
Mm-hmm.
And so she tried calling her insurance company, and she's just like, they don't understand what I'm trying to say. So when I saw her, she was crying. She was like, can you please help me? She showed me pictures of a house in Dreux, like the whole ceiling in her kitchen had collapsed. Her kitchen floor had water like up to where their little table was. And she was like, please help me. Can you call the insurance company? So I called the insurance company. And of course, because she's my friend, I can understand what she's trying to say.
Right.
And I filed the claim for her. And then once I did that, then she started bringing up family members like, well, can you help my family members? Because they can't. So
could they not do it online?
No.
Oh.
They had this rinky-dink company. It's called
okay.
Swift. Don't ever get that company because it was crazy.
I never even heard of them.
Yeah, it was just crazy. She had been waiting for days and she couldn't get anyone. So I just feel so bad. And I was just telling a friend of mine, like, I feel heartbroken.
Yeah.
And it's okay to sit in that. I was telling a friend of mine too, I didn't know what was going on with my body. Like we talked about on last segment, that you have to listen to your body. But you know what I realized? Like, I'm so overwhelmed by what happened last week.
We
like,
all are.
Yeah, my body
traumatic.
is still, because not only that, we went out of town for Valentine. And so we went to Austin, to a resort in Austin, Lakeway Resort. And so we had a marvelous time.
Right.
But then when they said it was going to be a snowstorm, we started to head back. The traumatic part was, Austin, is very hilly. So the highway that we needed to take, it was already ice.
Yeah.
And so we were like, oh my God, are we going to be able to, we were scared about, skidding and and it was just crazy. And so we just began to pray and ask God, like, Lord, show us another route. And so we just began to drive, and the Lord began to just show us basically, and it was crazy. We had to pray our way, and a 3-hour drive, 3-hour drive from Austin took 7 hours to get home because we could only drive 30 miles per hour because it was ice. And you then to come home like, okay, we safe, and then lay down at 11:45, and at 2:30 in the morning the lights go out, and you just like, oh my God. And then it's like they playing with the light, and the lights going like they flickering the light.
Right.
And I was just like, oh my God. And then especially people with children, I began to just sit in, and this is what I want people to get. Sometimes you have to sit in that thing and say, I'm not okay with this. Like, this is really bothering me. And I began to not only grieve for myself and my child, but for other families, women, that single parents that didn't have a man in the house to wrap pipes, that didn't have a man in the house to, because help out. My husband was like, okay, what can we do? So we hardly ever use our fireplace. That's what really saved us. And so we found the key to that, turned the fireplace on. Luckily, we had groceries and stuff in the house. We had already had water. We just wanted to get more because we didn't know how long this was going to last.
Everybody.
So, yesterday was such a hard day. You get up to go to work, and I'm thinking about all of my friends and my family. My mom is on asthma. She has an asthma machine.
Right.
She couldn't get on her asthma machine.
Right.
So I was worried about that.
Right.
Like, it was stressful. And it is okay to sit in the fact that I'm not doing good right now. And after the week that all of us Texans had, we need some therapy, honey.
We know we need some liquor.
Oh, no.
Just give me some liquor.
Not no liquor.
And we could pray after I finish drinking.
I don't even want no prayer. You lay on somebody's couch.
I don't want no prayer.
I had to go lay on somebody's couch and just talk.
It was very stressful. And like you said, I was thinking about the elderly. I was thinking about people who are
homeless.
Definitely the homeless. Oh man.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna get into that. But I was thinking about the people who needed their medicine, their medical equipment, power for that. I was thinking about people with small children. I was thinking about people who had handicap, loved ones, whatever. I was thinking about people with pets. Like, it was impossible to live like that. Like, we froze. And when I say we, I'm talking about me and my baby Alvaro. We froze most of the time.
Yeah.
We went in the car to keep warm for a little while.
Yeah.
But by time you get from, and you've been to my complex, so you know how it's set up.
Yeah.
When you walk out of the hallway to the garage, because there's so many people sitting in their cars, the fumes literally knock you down before you can even get to your car.
Yep.
So you have to wrap up well enough so that you're not inhaling all of the fumes before you get to your car, because you're trying to keep warm. Like, people were so desperate. And I mean, it was so cloudy, so smoky. Of course, smell like fumes. Like, it was just impossible. And if, for us, if you don't get home in time, you end up having to park way up on the top floor somewhere. So imagine having to walk through all of that to get to your car if you wasn't able to park on the same level where you live. It was just a disaster. And then, like I said, with children, pets, all of that, it was so hard. And then, of course, the pets got to go outside. My dog had to go. My dog is still in training. So everybody who have pets in training, I know how you feel. I'm with you. She had to go out like 5-6 times.
Oh my God.
Like in a day. Like it was probably more than that. And I could feel her anxiety because she knew it was cold, but she knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
She knew we're sitting here in the dark. And I mean, I had candles and everything trying to keep us warm and just give us a little bit light.
Yeah.
But she could just sense something was off, and she was already diagnosed with anxiety. That's why they put her on anxiety pills.
Mm-hmm.
Her anxiety intensified. She literally walked over me the whole time because she was so scared. And just imagine if that was like a real child, and you have a child
of course
that suffers with anxiety. Like,
Absolutely.
how do you explain what's going on to them? Like, well, we paid our light bill, but they still cut the power off.
Absolutely.
Like, how you explain that
It's
to
traumatic.
children? It was very traumatic. But we highlighted and said thank you to everybody that pitched in, who came to help Texas out. You brought food, water, toiletries, essentials. Thank you guys so much for coming to our aid when we needed you the most. And when I say we, I'm talking about everybody, because we ran out of water long before the thing even came. People were stocking up before the storm even came, so we didn't even have water to get, even after the storm. We were waiting on water from wherever, and because of the bad weather, the trucks couldn't even get into the city.
Couldn't get here.
So what happened was, and shout out to Trey the Truth. Man, I love Trey the Truth so much, Mia. Trey the Truth sent a cavalry over to neighboring states to go and meet the truckers that were carrying the waters to the grocery stores and to the distribution spots here in the city so that they can get it here. Because the trucks were either getting stuck in the ice, they could not commute in the ice. And I traveled. Where did we go? We went somewhere, and I saw the 18-wheelers frozen on side of the road in the ice because that's how bad the ice was.
Yeah.
Like, the trucks could not, and you're talking about an 18-wheeler with hundreds of horsepower. They could not get into the city. So Trey sent people to go and meet trucks in the various areas so that they can bring the water here to the distribution centers, to the grocery stores. Like, it was just incredible, his initiative. He reached out to all the celebrities. Beyonce pitched in, other rappers pitched in. They contributed. They got the trucks here. You saw it on the news.
That was amazing.
Places were popping up that we never even heard of, hosting events, having water.
I saw that.
Giving out water. Like, who? What? Wow. Like, so shout out to everybody that pitched in. Thank you for giving us what we needed the most, the water, the essentials, everything. We definitely could not have made it without you guys. For everybody who checked on us, was texting us, trying to call but couldn't get through, reaching out on social media. Thank you guys so much. Like, we know that we never expected it to be that way. We've experienced bad weather before, but nothing like that.
Nothing like
Well,
this.
except Harvey. Speaking of Harvey, I was wondering, is Texas cursed? Or is God just so impressed with Texas, he's just going to allow Texas to keep going through so many tragic events?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I was so confused.
What it is.
I was confused. Like, we've endured Harvey. We've had multiple flooding events in between. Now this winter storm, the bad weather, the hail. Like, is Texas just cursed? Or is God really that pleased with us? He's just going to say, oh, they can handle it. Let me do that. Let me send it that way.
I chose to believe the latter. He just say we can handle it.
I'm like, we've had enough to last us for the rest of the life of Texas.
Listen.
We don't need no more flooding.
No more.
We don't need no more rain.
No more.
We don't need no more winter storms. I never thought I would see that in my lifetime in Houston.
Me either.
We've had snow before. And I've been here when it snowed.
Yeah, we've had snow, but never like this.
Not like that.
No, never like this to where we were without. And it was just great. My daughter was like so happy in the beginning because she saw the snow.
She's out of school.
Yeah, she's out of school. But then when them lights cut off.
That was it.
And that
couldn't
water,
charge the phone.
She couldn't charge the phone. Oh, she was having a fit. She was just like, Mama. And then being a parent, not being able to explain that. And then, of course, like you said, being a pet owner. And my dog is bougie. So he was looking like, I got to go out there. And so, of course, we went out there with him. But he usually goes outside because we have a backyard. He go outside. He played for a long time. Baby, he hot-tailed it back on in the house. He was not playing.
I took April out that first night. That snow, it came down. Like, soon as we got outside, that snow came down. April felt that chill. She hauled back inside. Like, I'm not about to do this out here.
Them dogs know. They know. Like, he was, I kept saying, I said, Dior, you want to go out again? He looked at me and rolled his eyes like, no, I ain't got to use it right now. I hold it.
Yeah, we had snow covering the ground from as soon as you walk outside. So this was her first time, I guess, experiencing the snow. She was just like testing the water.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, this cold. Ooh, this cold. I can't do. Ooh, this cold. I'm like, come on, baby, you got to do it. You got to do it. Like, I was trying to chip away at it and move it out the way, but of course I ain't have nothing to use. I'm like, come on, you got to do it because you can't pee inside no more.
No.
Because she was peeing and pooing inside. I'm like, no.
Well, it's
not in here. We got to do better.
Yeah.
But again, we thank everybody for their prayers, their support, for reaching out to everybody here in Texas and just showing love when we needed it the most. We never thought we would experience that, but that goes to show you tomorrow ain't promised, and we don't have all the answers.
That's
but we
right.
do want answers from Greg Abbott and ERCOT, and we want to know who dropped the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Who went to sleep and forgot to turn the power on. And I never heard of a rolling blackout where there's no rolling. Because a rolling blackout is when you're rolling the power to different areas at different times. But if one area ain't getting power at all, that ain't a road.
And the rich white areas got power. River Oaks had power. There was a rich neighborhood. I forgot the name of it in Dallas. They had power. They never lost power. Highland Park.
Yeah.
Highland Park never lost power.
So let's talk about that. So Highland Park, as well as there's another area, they have their own energy source.
Oh, really?
So they don't they're not under ERCOT's system. That's how they ended up keeping their power. They're not under ERCOT. So however it's set up where they were able to, I guess money speaks, they're able to set up their own power supply, as well as I believe Garland, because Garland has their own supply company, but definitely Highland Village, Highland Park.
What about McGregor?
Houston?
Yeah, McGregor Way, over there by Braeswood. Some of my friends on Braeswood, they never lost power. Never lost power. They never had water. I guess it's
the area. Like if they're connected to, I guess, urgent or what you call it.
Maybe. Well, no, because George never lost power, and he's not connected to by a hospital.
By hospital.
He's not by a hospital. He's not by a police station. He's not by any of that.
See, I didn't know McGregor still had power because I mean people were posting that they were still waiting on power and water. So I mean I never knew that we had one area here that never lost power.
Yeah, there were areas.
I mean I know the hospitals and all that never lost their power, but wow.
He never lost power.
And McGregor's not. I mean it is somewhat high end depending on which side you're on.
Depending on what side of McGregor, but. Yeah, it was just crazy to me. And I guess we keep saying we want answers, but you know what I have said in the fact that we're really never going to get a truthful answer.
We're never
going to get it, and we have to be okay
mean we
with
can't
that.
demand it. That
Absolutely
mean
not.
We can't hold them responsible and accountable. I wish we could sue. I wish that there was a class action lawsuit against ERCOT in the state of Texas because I will sign, I will pay, and put in towards the attorney. Like I would support that because the state needs to pay because the state was notified of this event happening long before it happened.
No.
So there was time for them to prepare better, but they chose not to. They ignored it, just like Trump's administration ignored the whole COVID situation. They ignored that this winter storm was going to cause this catastrophic event. They knew, but they did nothing about it. And then, I mean, they didn't really have a response for it because they're caught off guard too. We do know that the governor's mansion never lost power, and that's sad. The governor's mansion never lost power. He could have said, well, listen, cut my power off, send it to somebody else. He never said
They ain't going to do that. Just like Ted Cruz got his behind on a plane to Cancun and going to lie
So
and
I was about to get into
he taking his daughter child.
So Ted Cruz got on the plane and said, listen, my daughter was tired of being home. She didn't have power. We didn't have water. Ted, The whole city ain't got power or water. What you mean?
But my daughter asked me if she can go to Cancun with
So
her
he
friends.
lied multiple times.
He lied multiple
His
times.
staff said it was a long planned trip. Since when 2 hours is long planned? Y'all just planned this 2 hours ago, baby.
A liar,
Went to Cancun. They found out, and now his wife is upset because the text messages that she sent to her group chat were leaked. So someone within her group chat leaked the text messages about her inviting people on this Cancun trip.
See?
So she's upset with that. So of course social media is going crazy. Like, who cares? You all are dummies. Like, nobody cares that you're upset about taking a vacation in the middle of a winter storm when everybody's struggling and suffering. And there's still areas. Let me make sure we announce that there are still areas in Texas that do not have water, do not have power. They do not have the resources to even get the water or the power. They can't get to Walmart or Ace or whatever, Home Depot, to buy batteries, to buy whatever they need to get through, because the fuel stations are closed because they don't have power. Oh, God.
Sad case.
So we hope that we never experience that again. And of course, we had other states, some of the negative Nancy's chime in. Well, we deal with it all the time. What are you guys crying about? First of all, Texas is in the South. We do not experience that kind of weather all the time. You guys do. If you're in the Northeast or up north and all of that, you guys are familiar with that kind of weather. You're prepared for that kind of weather. Texas is not. We do not have snow plows. We do not have no big trucks to go through snow. We have stuff for hurricanes, for
water.
Right, for water.
Not
real
for
water,
snow.
not ice frozen water, real water. We're not set up for that. So for everybody who was questioning why people in Texas are having a hard time, because we're not set up for that kind of weather.
And it wasn't just snow. We didn't have power. Okay.
We didn't have power. We didn't have water. Water pipes bursting everywhere.
Yeah.
We didn't have access to those things. It's one thing to endure. It's another thing to endure with no power, no help.
Yeah, you
can't make
inside and outside.
So we shout out to all the negative Nancys out there who was talking bad about
the donkeys
Texas.
of the day.
Right, you all are the donkeys of the day. Like we're not set up for that. Talk to us about other things like the summer heat and then all of that other stuff. Hurricanes.
Yeah.
We know more about that than we do about winter storms. But that's that on that. So what we got going on in Mia's Moments as we close out, man?
Listen, as we close out, again, I just want you guys to sit with the fact that here in Texas, we have experienced such a traumatic week. And again, as Drew stated, I want to give shout outs to everyone that came to our aid to help us. But mental health is very important. And I know that I talk about this a lot because I'm an advocate for mental health. And this week, y'all, I have just felt it. I have to be transparent. It just took a toll on my mind, body, and my soul. And it's not just about what I experienced. I think that I was grieving the loss that this mother in Conroe felt when she saw her 11-year-old son go out and play in the snow for the first time, and then for him to go back in and go to sleep and just die, and she didn't think anything of him not waking up because
of course.
He used to sleep in late, and then when she went to go and touch him, he was dead. So sometimes we have to have a heart of not only be sympathetic with people's situation, but have a heart of compassion.
Yes.
That's what I want us to do. Sometimes put ourselves in other people's shoes. You can be so quick to say, oh, well, that ain't nothing. I deal with that all the time. But yeah, you may not have dealt with the same circumstances that the other party has dealt with. So guys, we have to sit in that emotion, and it's okay to not be okay. Again, I'll say that it is okay to sometimes not be okay. But what I don't want you to do is wallow in not being okay. I want you to go get help. When you feel low, I want you to go find a friend that you can confide in. Go to your pastor. Find you a mental health counselor. Go and find you someone at the church, one of the little old ladies. Find you somebody, because we are our brother's keeper. I love you guys.
We have to be. It is true. Mental health is very important. You guys know we talk about it often here on the show, but it's real life for us. It's just not something we just talk about, but it's real life.
Yeah.
And this event did bring out some of it. It triggered a lot. But if you guys ever need help reach out to us. We're connected to a lot of great mental health experts, mental health clinics, mental health centers. Reach out to us so that we can connect you with the help that you need. Do not be afraid. Of course, if you reach out to us, it will remain confidential. You don't have to worry about nobody outing you and trying to do you wrong. It's kept confidential. We'll make sure that we connect you with the right resources because we are here for the people. We're not a community station, but we are community people. And we love you guys for supporting us and tuning in with us, watching us, and all of those things, encouraging us to continue on with the show. So we are here for you guys. So if you know anyone, or if you yourself need that help, don't be afraid to send us a direct message. Go to the website, DreuxandMiaPodcastShow.com, and let us know that you do need that help, and we'll make sure that we connect you with the right people. Well, that's our show. We will see you guys next time. Make sure you go to our website, Dreux and Mia Podcast Show, or you go and visit us on our social media at Dreux and Mia Podcast Show, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Go and look at some of the other YouTube videos that we have. Go ahead and like those and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get all of the updates. We want you guys to talk back to us. Let us know what you think, what's your feedback, what you want us to talk about, some topics. And if you're interested in being a guest on the show, reach out to us so we can try to make that happen. We love you guys. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.